a memorial to the Jews of Budapest, who were rounded up during World War II and told to take off their shoes before being shot and pushed into the Danube. Hungary's Jews are fearful again because of a return of anti-Semitism. Hungary has been going backwards economically for years. Old scapegoats have come back to life in a nation that feels like it was flattened by globalization. Foreigners, bankers, and Jews. This is the kind of political ad that tapped straight into the Hungarian psyche.
A bankoknak mindent szabad.
Míg dolgozunk, ezek csak lopnak. A politikus bűnözőknek mindent szabad.
Már félek kimenni az utcára. A cigánybűnözőknek mindent szabad?
Nincs magyar áru a polcon. A mótiknak mindent szabad.
It's an ad for Jobbik, now the third largest party in Hungary and a strong contender to finish second in national elections April 6th, creating the possibility it could join a coalition government. Evangelicals in Hungary are very concerned and have created a webpage called savehungary.org. Far-right racist parties are fairly common in Eastern Europe, but Jobbik is different. Stronger, better organized, and offering solutions to real problems that Hungarians face. Even if they're the wrong solutions and the boogeyman is an American-Israeli conspiracy.
You know, there's a joke in Hungary that somebody comes to a village and he says, "Is there anti-Semitism here?" So they say, "No, there isn't, but there's a great need for it." And so
Budapest Rabbi Shlomo Koves says Jews can now feel the anti-Semitism in the streets, although physical attacks on Jews are rare.
I mean, a society is not in a good state when people relatively have a hard time making a living. All these ideas, extreme ideas, can come back.
A Jobbik member of parliament has called for a list to be drawn up of all the Jews in government because he deems them a security threat.
They consider the entire Jewish community as the agents of America and Israel. They say that through the Hungarian Jewish community, Israel and America are turning Hungary into a colony.
Hungarian parliament member Pál Steiner lost half of his relatives in the Holocaust, and now, 70 years later, he receives death threats. But anti-Semitism hasn't returned to Hungary, he says, because it never left.
It's clear that Jobbik's basic principles are very similar to the Nazis, especially considering the so-called Jewish problem. And I need to stress that there is a part of the Hungarian society that has a secret sympathy for Jobbik.
Jobbik started a militia, the Magyar Garda, but it was outlawed. Jobbik claims it was a service organization, but it looked like Aerocross, a Nazi-era party that killed thousands of Jews. It's an open question as to whether Hungarian society is getting healthier or getting sicker.
Sadly, I have to say sicker because of growing intolerance, because of growing poverty.
We asked one of Hungary's leading political consultants, Viktor Szigetvári, if Jobbik could end up in a governing coalition someday, as some predict, or if they're too radioactive for other parties.
They are radioactive, but it is possible that we might have a minority government created. And in this context, it will be interesting what role Jobbik will play. I believe that it is a no-go area, not in Hungary, not in Europe.
Jobbik repeatedly denies that it is anti-Semitic. On its English language website, it seems to disavow some of the very positions its leaders have spouted publicly. Jobbik says it does not deny the Holocaust, but it also does not like Israel. We interviewed a former Jobbik leader who told us he had to leave the party when he discovered that he was a Jew.
The problem is that there are clever people in Jobbik. It's a two-faced party, what they say among themselves and what they say in front of the public. The other problem is that they are inciting hatred. They're poisoning the population in Hungary.
Steiner and others told us Jobbik should be considered very dangerous. And now there is a chance that Jobbik could join a coalition government. Dale Hurd, CBN News.